Has it ever dawned on you that it's such a distance or a separation in the beauty industry? Like it's it's almost like well, it's not almost. It really is. If you sit and look at it, you can look at the marketing, you can look at the salons, you can look at every facet of it, and you can see it's a divide, a racial divide. You got the black, which is black hair, and ethnic hair, and then you have every other culture, right? And it's baffling to see how it is, especially when products claim their products, or product makers and manufacturers claim their products are made for all types of hair. So, okay, my background, I've been doing hair 20 years, and I've worked in just about every environment you could possibly imagine, from salons that didn't service black hair. I call those white salons. Even though they service everything else, I still consider them a white salon. And then I've worked in the hood of the black salons, and even nice black salons too. And I do all facets of hair. And it's just amazing to me that it's a big gap. So like if you do one hair, you work in an environment that truly caters to one hair, you're not going to get the other. And if you do, it's almost like an anomaly. Like people are shocked and stylists are like scared of it. But why is that? You know, so let's look at how the beauty industry is, and I kind of feel like it's a racial exploitation of the black dollar, another way to take the money from the black community, or to just straight neglect it overall. I mean, you can start with beauty schools. To understand how to do black hair, if you're not black, you have to go to a beauty school that's in a black community that really specializes and emphasizes it. I mean, yeah, modern day, some schools may touch on it just a little bit, but they ain't giving you no real knowledge or no real experience. And you see it when people who are not black come out of hair school, they're totally frightened by the density of it, or just the curl pattern, and it's not as easy to round brush or whatever the case, or just to navigate. And I find that to be a real big problem. Like, it starts right there. It's a root. It's a lack of knowledge and lack of familiarity and understanding created. But that goes to like society. You know, you look at schools and you got white schools with no black students and black schools with no white students, and it creates a racial divide, and people start to form their own conclusions, which lead to racism, right? So it's the same thing. To further give this theory some validity, I worked in a white salon at one point, my first one ever, right? And I'm all happy, proud to be there, and I brought a black beauty magazine. It was called Hair Designs back in the day. And I took it into the salon, and what's crazy was I left it on the table, and the stylist didn't think I was in the break room when they were there. And I sat there and listened to them crack jokes and degrade and just attack every stylist and their work in the magazine. And it just was like, damn. It made me have a sense of pride to be strong. Like, we better than y'all. Fuck this shit. But that really don't solve a problem. But that's like one way how the industry is so divided. And then when you talk about the Asians, now this is a whole nother animal. The Asians really take advantage of the black beauty industry and within the community. Like, they saturate the area with these beauty supplies that are full of bullshit. It's no good product in it at all, period. Like, from the shampoos, conditioners, and everything else. And it's just bullshit. And then they turn around and sell fake hair and everything else. It's just straight exploitation. They don't serve nothing good. And then the cap on top of that, the professional companies, the L'Oreals, the Schwarzkopf, the Orbeys, and everything else, they don't do shit. They don't cater towards the black industry. They don't market towards it. They don't create products specifically for it. They don't give a fuck about it. So it leaves the black community to only be able to get bullshit, which is kind of like how, if you base it off societal situations in history, soul food was created from scraps that the white slave owners left for the slaves, and not me, I wasn't there, but blacks created their own type of food off of it, off the scraps. They made the best of it. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, the major companies ignore and neglect the black hair industry in the community and making products that can benefit us and so on and so forth, and our business, so we can diversify, leaving us with scraps from the Asians that exploit us with this bullshit. And you know, it's just fucked up. And you know, now when you look at the expos, the beauty expos that go on all over the country, you go to the NAHA, the North American Hair Awards, which is like the Grammys for hairstylists, and the average black beauty professional has never even heard of it to even know they could enter it and possibly win it. That's kind of make you wonder why. It's like, just why is it not marketed towards the black industry that's really based off, like we thrive off showmanship and creativity and innovation. So I kind of make you wonder why they don't advertise it to that industry when it's just as lucrative. And then you got, you know, we have our own shows, which is the Bronner Brothers. That was the main one, and now we got Premiere. And you know, the funny thing about those shows is they're not black owned. You know, they're another way that the Asians exploit us because we're neglected from the other industries. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're stuck with bullshit, and we gotta accept more bullshit from the Asians that's just taking the money from us and, you know, doing God knows what with it. So, you know, people don't understand it. If you're not in this industry, I guess you're gonna minimalize my points and say, no, it ain't true, but it really is. Like, it really is a racial divide in the beauty industry, and it's fucked up, and it really bothers me. You know, like, you know, it's just like saying one. It's like if you're in one industry, inside the industry, you're gonna think it's better than the other. You look down upon it, and so on and so forth. But man, it's just a fucked up game. If you're not in it, you're not gonna know it. And I want you to pay attention to it. You know, it's just another way racism is alive in this country, and I wanted to speak my point on it.